President Trump fires the Defense Secretary Mark Esper and replaced him, and I'm happy about it. And Fox News females, I'm speculating that Neil Cavuto got a female producer controlling him, are getting all arrogant and anti-Trump. You just heard something towards the end of the Jesse Lee Peterson first hour today here. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. Stay tuned for hour two. Jesse Lee will be right back. It's 6:55 a.m. here in Los Angeles. Hake news, not fake news. Trump fires a rhino swamp guy. Finally. Drudge and CNBC report that President Trump says Defense Secretary Mark Esper has been terminated. Nice. I would like to thank him for his service, Trump tweeted. He said, I am pleased to announce that Christopher C. Miller, the highly respected director of the National Counterterrorism Center, unanimously confirmed by the Senate, will be acting Secretary of Defense effective immediately. We'll see what he's like, right? Some anonymous administration official said that the directors of the FBI, which is the anti-white Christopher Wray, and the CIA, Gina Haspel, a female, could be next. I wish. We'll see. The announcement on Twitter came about 5 months after President Trump and Mark Esper had a public break over how to handle so-called civil unrest, also known as violent, uncivilized riots, right, by Black Lives Matter and Antifa in America's cities. Trump wanted the National Guard there to deal with the riots, and Esper was like, oh, no, it's not urgent and dire. Weak and evil, right? Military Times says that Esper, on his way out, says that he was no yes man. 18 cabinet secretaries who pushed back more, he says. He was weak, strong before Trump, but weak before the establishment. And he's mad that people called him Yesper. Dubbed Yesper by his critics, including the president. He takes umbrage with the idea that he has been anyone's yes man. My frustration is I sit here and name another cabinet secretary that's pushed back. Poor babies at the deep state, too. The U.S. News reports that some anonymous source says that the firing of Mark Esper killed the atmosphere at the Pentagon. I say good. Why are they comfortable while the whole rest of the country burns from enemies within? Bunch of liberals and rhinos. Poor beleaguered Pentagon staff. The Pentagon reportedly angered by President Trump President Trump was reportedly angry at the Pentagon by they banned the Confederate flag on military installations. Cowards. Esper had reportedly been working with members of the Senate and the House Armed Services Committees on drafting a new budget for the Defense Department, which was said to include language that would rename the U.S. military bases that were named for Confederate generals, which includes Fort Bragg and others, a move that Trump has repeatedly insisted that he will not allow. The good thing is that the Confederate flag ban said it would ban homosexual arrogance, the pride flags, rainbow flags, until it's added to an approved list, which wouldn't be long. Some other liberal/rhino David Priest said of Trump's firing, there's probably not much logic behind it, just spite and venting anger. That's what that guy said. Fox News taking sides against President Trump and reality. Drudge reports Fox News cuts off Kayleigh McEnany press conference with a scathing so-called smackdown. Can't in good countenance continue showing this. That's a story from Mediaite. This person, the host, said with countenance. Some claimed he said with conscience, but he said countenance, which means have a good face. It was Neil Cavuto. I wonder whether he has some liberal female producer controlling him, made him cut away, right? Revolver News says Neil Cavuto of Fox News cut off, and Revolver says slanders Kayleigh McEnany. I don't know if he did that. I only saw him kissing up to the fake news. In a stunt that prompts more calls to boycott Fox News from the conservatives. Former Bernie Sanders supporter, now Trump supporter, Cassandra Fairbanks, claims that Fox News said Kayleigh made false claims. I don't know if they said that she made false claims. I saw the whole liberal media saying that she made false claims. She was giving an update on the suspected voter fraud cases around the country in these black cities, liberal cities. Revolver News says that Tucker Carlson shamed Cavuto. You can't just cut away from coverage you don't like. Or maybe Cavuto's producers. I'm James Hake. Now on to Jesse, Hour 2.